I am the granddaughter of the and both of them Palestine. And for me, this moment has been generations. And nature has been a very
I would find the place really well, and then I'll a lot of people sweating at that. Seriously.
Has come here. The fact that it's brought the case of Gaza to the eyes of the one of the biggest and it's showing the world that we are going to draw a red line. If previous generations didn't draw that red line, then the new generations will. And I can't wait to see what comes here. Regardless of the direction this hearing goes, I think that we set a brand new precedent and one that has been growing for many decades.
Yes, go for it. So the next question is oh, yeah? Where? Il va sortir là.
Did you say 105?
I think that there's a huge difference between the American people and the leaders that are representing them. Unfortunately, we have incredibly powerful Israel lobby in this state. It's the second strongest lobby that we have in American politics, and for that reason, it does forge this extreme fight where you're either with us or you're against us, and it really eliminates a lot of the diversity of thought. It eliminates the discourse around Palestine, and outside of the city, there's far more discussion around the situation in the global context. So I think that right now, what you're seeing is a lot of the American public, led by youth on social media, are really shifting tides, where now, possibly for the first time since this all started, we're seeing a majority of Americans voting in favor of a ceasefire. And meanwhile, our politicians are all stringently against that. And so we're seeing this huge dissonance.
Cesar said we're offline. We know that, right? Okay.
President Biden is going to have a very, very terrible time. Already, every I think you got a lot from me.
I did.
Yeah.
I was just like, hello. Thank you for your time. Let me know later on if you're doing anything. I'd love to hang out.
Would love to.
Corbin over there.
Yeah, okay.
You're so cool. I'm so you met.
حبيبتي أنا شرف لي إني
تمام احنا
Can you just fix this? How isn't this?
If you need help,
Hi, Tom. Okay. Okay.
Just move that way a bit. A little bit more.
They're coming to me in 20 seconds. Cool. تجمع طرفداران اسرائیل و فلسطین در اینجا در مقابل دیوان بین‌المللی دادگستری
All of the things. Thank you.
Wait, you were here last night or you came this morning? In the morning? Oh, so you haven't slept?
Not really. I slept at 2. Woke up at 6. I did have some. I had a bit of breath mitigation. But now I need to go.
Yes.
I'm done. I need to get down. Back out.
Yeah, I know.
اسناد و مدارک خودشون برای آفریقای جنوبی به استناد به صحبت‌های وزیر رئیس جمهور اسرائیل و همچنین فرماندهان ارشد ارتش اسرائیل و وزیر
On the thing?
No, we're not going to be able to.
Well, I can try.
Try it.
تمام اعضای شورای امنیت
Okay. Who are we missing?
Ahmed. D'accord, ne vous inquiétez pas. C'est déjà fait. Je vais fabriquer un truc.
Sorry. Okay. Okay, we have everyone but Jeremy knows. He's just
Bravo et merci.
So people can back up so this comes.
Bravo l'Afrique du Sud.
Bravo.
On est avec vous. On est tous avec vous.
Have people back up so the thing can be seen. Back up.
Africa.
Thank you, Africa. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
They're going to be here for a while. Thank you. Thank you very much, my dear brothers.
You can leave the mics here. Well, why don't we just move this?
Thank you.
Move this forward, no?
Okay, let's move. We're gonna. There's a lot of
Amir.
microphones on it.
Thank
It's
you.
fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can just move that forward then.
Thank you very much.
Amir, can we move this forward? Careful, careful. There's lots of microphones.
And then the microphones. The microphones have fallen.
Thank you so much.
Ready?
Just a minute, just a minute. The microphone has fallen.
Any other mics?
Any other microphones?
No, no
more difficult questions, yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Varsha Gandikota Nellutla.
Everyone needs to sit down, please.
All good? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Varsha Gandikota Nellutla, and I'm the Co-General Coordinator of the Progressive International, and I'll be chairing today's public briefing. This is a historic moment. In her opening remarks, as you would have seen on the hearing, South African Senior Counsel Adila Hassim said, this is a case that underscores the very essence of our shared humanity. And Adila Hassim is right. This is not a case of South Africa versus Israel. It's not even a case of Israel versus Palestine. It's a test of the humanity of the world and whether the institutions that we've built to protect it, and today this court, The Hague, will withstand the test of Western impunity. Every single person who was in that room, who witnessed today's hearing, is left in no doubt that we're reading, when we looked at the South African case, we were reading the most frightening document of our time, and hearing evidence to the most illegal genocide assault, and bearing witness to the most audacious violation of international law. So in bringing this case to The Hague, South Africa has done what the rest of us failed to do. In doing so, it issued a resounding call to the world to break once and for all with no bounds the violent history of colonialism. But most importantly, the International Court of Justice itself on trial. So today, the state of Israel has been brought to The Hague to be held to account. Implicitly present also in the room were its backers, the US, the UK, the European Union, and every state in the Western world which is implicated in the genocide of Palestinian people. So these hearings, which will determine, of course, whether there are immediate protections that are given, but also will determine whether the Genocide Convention and with it our idea of international law will survive, or will these judges sacrifice it along with our shared humanity. So today's public briefing, thank you so much for attending. We'll have two parts, one in collaboration with the South African delegation, and we'll hear from the South African Minister of Justice, followed by any questions that you may have about the legalities of the case, which will be taken by Zane Dangor, who is the Director General of the South African Foreign Ministry. Following that, we'll have a second plenary with international delegates, Jeremy Corbyn, Jean-Luc Mélenchon, Ada Colau, Gerardo Pisarello, and Peter Mertens, who will bring their messages from the world to The Hague. Thank you. With that, I hand the floor to the Minister of Justice of South Africa.
Thank you very much. The government of the Republic of South Africa, led by His Excellency President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, entrusted me with representing its commitment to the just rule of law, a universal respect for human rights, and specifically the right of the Palestinian people to sovereignty, to peace, and to life. We thank our legal team for having able presented our case in a cogent manner, and we believe they've presented a compelling case before the ICJ. We also thank the court for granting the opportunity to the South African government an opportunity to present its case in real time. We believe this will be impactful, will be able to intervene in real time for the people of Palestine. Since the advent of our democracy in 1994, South Africa's foreign policy has been based on what our forebears inscribed in the Freedom Charter in 1955, when they declared that, and I quote, "South Africa shall be a fully independent state, with respect the right and the sovereignty of all nations. South Africa shall strive to maintain world peace and the settlement of all international disputes by negotiations and not war." Close quote. South Africa has supported various resolutions of the United Nations and other international solutions to support a just and a lasting solution that will bring peace to Palestinians and Israelis alike. Working together with the international community and in alignment with the relevant UN resolutions and the international law, South Africa seeks to ensure a lasting and durable peace that produces a viable, contiguous Palestinian state, coexisting side by side in peace with Israel, within the 1967 international recognized borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. Our president has called for a ceasefire and a humanitarian intervention on numerous occasions in international platforms. Our foreign policy is aimed at improving the well-being, safety, and prosperity of all citizens and the achievement of a better Africa and the world. The key pillars of our foreign policy include the promotion of human rights, peace, and stability, and the strengthening of trade and investment ties with other countries. The world has watched in horror as Palestinian men, women, and children were slaughtered, blown up, buried alive under the rubble of their homes, left to die painful deaths in unresourced hospitals, resulting in over 23,000 deaths through destruction to homes, schools, hospitals, water treatment plants, and other public infrastructure that impairs the conditions of life and is calculated to bring about the destruction in whole or in part of the Palestinians living in Gaza. With the recent escalation of aggression of Israel in Gaza, South Africa has supported a UN resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire and the provision of humanitarian aid. Sadly, the world has not succeeded in stopping the genocide that is currently unfolding in Gaza. The international community has largely remained passive in response to these atrocities. Women and children in areas such as refugee camps, schools, and hospitals have been targeted, leading to a humanitarian crisis. We saw unequivocally the UN Secretary General invoking a rarely used article of the United Nations Charter, Article 99. The Secretary General Antonio Guterres on the 6th of December 2023 called on the Security Council to press to avert a humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza and unite in a call for a full humanitarian ceasefire between Israel and Palestinian militants. This plea for Ubuntu, a plea for the humanity of the international community to prevail, was simply ignored. Israel's institutional impunity was reinforced. This court must stop Israel exceptionalism. In keeping with our obligations as a state party to the Genocide Convention, our government has approached the International Court of Justice to prevent the unfolding genocide in Gaza. We have also asked for provisional measures which include an immediate suspension of Israel military operation in and around Gaza. The commitment to justice and bring an end to humanitarian atrocities in Palestine resonate deeply with the collective consciousness of the global community. The scale of these actions is reminiscent of the Rwandan genocide 30 years ago. We are here on behalf of South Africa and the global community to seek justice for the victims, particularly children, women, and the elderly. We believe that without the intervention of this court, of the international community, we will see the total destruction of the Palestinian people in Gaza. Remaining silent in the face of this, in and of itself, will be a gross violation of international law. We are seeking the court to intervene and to stop the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Today, it is common cause that the Rwanda genocide could have been prevented. Former UN Secretary General Kofi Annan expressly regretted this when he said, and I quote, "The international community failed Rwanda, and that must leave us always with a sense of bitter regret and abiding sorrow." Close quote. Rwanda stands out as a stern and a severe rebuke to all of us for having failed to address these interrelated matters. Let us not have to live and have the same regret when it comes to Palestine. We must stop the genocide in real time. This case presents the court with an opportunity to act in real time to prevent genocide from continuing in Gaza by issuing an injunction. South Africa is a multifaceted, multicultural, and multiracial country that embraces the concept of Ubuntu as a way of defining who we are and how we relate to others. Ubuntu means I am because you are. I am because Hamza al-Dadu is. You are because Dania Ab Moheseni is. The philosophy of Ubuntu means humanity and is reflected in the idea that we affirm our humanity when we affirm the humanity of others. It has played a major role in the forging of South African national consciousness and in the process of its democratic transformation and nation building. Our history is one of repression and violence, human rights abuses, apartheid as a crime against humanity, discrimination and distrust between people born on the same soil. This history enjoins us to stand in principle in solidarity with the people of Palestine. Because our history is one marked by crimes against humanity, the recent horrific scenes of the city of Gaza being transformed into a mass burial ground haunt our minds. The alarming sight of jubilant armed forces rejoicing the chants who are finishing off Gaza is an act among several others that warrant a thorough examination by the court, the honorable court that we're in. The actions taken by Israel against the Palestinians are considered by many state parties, including the state of Palestine itself, to be in breach of the Genocide Convention. Palestine has expressed grave concern over the international system's incapability to prevent acts of genocide against its people and has urgently called for actions to halt such acts. The uncompromising enforcement of the rule of law must be used to cease the ongoing atrocities in Gaza Strip. This case is about asserting the international rule of law. Our distinguished team of lawyers has expanded our case before the Honorable Court. The timeless words spoken by Martin Luther King, they ring real today. And that is what we call for the court to do when he said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Hold true now more than ever before. The esteemed institution has an opportunity not only to reaffirm but also to strengthen humanity's commitment to justice. This can be achieved by infusing the Genocide Convention with vibrancy and bringing it to life. We trust that after hearing us presenting the facts, the legal arguments, the truth, the court will grant the protection we seek in real time and on an urgent basis. The injunction is relevant. I want to conclude again by quoting Martin Luther when he said, "The arch of the moral of the universe is long, always bending towards justice. There shall be justice for the people of Palestine." Thank you.
Are you confident the ICJ will take up some of the preventive measures you're asking for? Are you confident after the hearing of today?